Bear with me, my voice is still shot. So I just got back from going to SummerSlam 2023 live from Detroit, Michigan, and I have thoughts. So sit back, relax, let's talk about SummerSlam 2023, shall we? I don't have a script, so I'm going off the wall with this, so if the video seems all over the place, my apologies. So we kicked off the show with Logan Paul versus Ricochet in the opening contest. It was 18 minutes of pretty much athletic exchanges between the two. Ricochet bringing the fight to Logan Paul, and Logan Paul continuing to prove to the world that you may not like the guy. Some people have every right to not like this guy, but this guy continues to stand up and stand out in ways I cannot explain. Seeing this man wrestle live back-to-back years, because I saw him at SummerSlam in 2022, and I saw him obviously this past weekend. And man, I am here to tell you that boy, he has it. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people will probably hate me for saying that, but that man has it. He does not drag the match down. He does not feel like a celebrity that is just being carried in a match. He is literally up there with some of the top celebrity turned wrestlers or celebrity wrestlers or part-time wrestlers, whatever they want to call them. He's up there. And Ricochet is no slouch. That man was the right opponent for this man to, I guess you could say, elevate Logan Paul at certain levels, because Ricochet, he has this thing about him, love him or hate him or indifferent about him. He has this thing about him that makes you just pay close attention to what he brings to the table. But obviously in the end, Logan Paul won by cheating, because at the time I didn't know who handed him brass knuckles. Literally everybody in my section was like, who the fuck is that? Who is that? And when I went on Twitter to figure out, because I still didn't know who he was when I got back home, it apparently was his manager Jeff that attacked or that was got involved in this situation. So Logan Paul defeated Ricochet within 18 minutes and had Ricochet's fiance, I'm about to say wife, but fiance Samantha Irvin, ring announcer, and she was acting her ass off, so I give her credit. She's a little actress. I see her. She's a little actress there. But that was a fun opening match, and Logan was off to be with his brother. Next up, we had Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar in the rubber match after their trilogy following Cody's loss at WrestleMania. And I'm gonna be honest with you, going into this, I just still ask the question, what were y'all fighting for? What was the reason? What was the reason? Because I was one of probably the minority that felt like this match should have had some form of stipulation, whether it was a no DQ rule, stream rule, some type of stipulation that was no disqualification. Now I understand why they didn't, because they wanted the main event to be the only no disqualification type gimmick, but I feel like this feud needed it. But the match itself was fun. This was the beginning of the end for my voice during this match, because when Cody came out, we all hit the... That was fun. Seeing Brock live is a different beast, pun intended, of its own. Like, the dude just screams, you have to pay attention. That is a legend in this business. And the match itself, this was the part where the match I kind of almost checked out a little bit, because Cody kept getting hit with the F5 on the outside and he kept rolling into the ring. It was like the first one I was like, oh yeah, it's done. It's like, oh okay, he got in. Then the second one happened and I'm like, okay dog, what are we doing here? And then the third one through the announce table, I was like, all right, where are we going with this? Is this man finna be Super Cena? Like what the fuck are we doing here? But in the end, and also another thing, I'm not even finna move on. The other thing that made me almost check out was Brock getting hit by steel steps by Cody. I legitimately was like, when did they make this a no DQ match? Like, I obviously didn't watch the kickoff show because I was there. I was like, maybe they announced it during the kickoff show. I put on Twitter and everybody was like, I don't know. We're all confused. So I guess you can write it off as referee's discretion. That would have been a nice announcement to say, hey, this is a no DQ match or a no holds bar match at the last minute, but I need to check with the timeline. But according to the timeline on Twitter or X, whatever the hell they're calling themselves these days, it wasn't announced as a no DQ. So what was the reason? But in the end, Cody obviously picked up the win over Brock Lesnar. And I'm going to be honest with you, this match was fun, minus the part where I almost checked out because Cody was being super Cody, or just being Cody with the beating the count. And I'm like, okay, dude. But in the end, Brock Lesnar stayed in the ring and showed Cody an ounce of respect by raising his hand and shaking his hand. Kind of similar to what Kurt Angle did to Brock Lesnar in 2003 at WrestleMania. So that was a nice little show of respect. We still don't know what they were fighting for. I'm guessing Brock being the gatekeeper. That's what I was told. But what is he gatekeeping? They just fought just to fight. Next up, we got the 25-man Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal. And And I'm gonna be honest with you, this match was not needed. It was not needed. That's all I'm saying. It was pretty much a standard battle royal. I believe the LA Knight, The Miz, AJ Styles were the only three that got an entrance before the surprise return of Omos. Homo sapiens rise for the ruler of the universe, Omos. I was the only one in my section cheer for Omos, so there's that. But in the end, obviously, LA Knight won, last eliminating Sheamus in a repeat of their match on SmackDown that we saw over the weekend at the SmackDown watch party at the Little Caesars Arena. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this match was just a simple hit damn from Triple H because people kept clamoring for LA Knight to be on the card, LA Knight to be on the card. So here it is. It was a fun experience in the arena until people started yelling me out of nowhere. I go get some snacks. I go down the hallway. Yeah. I go upstairs, downstairs to my Uber. Yeah. Please stop. And to the person, I already put out a tweet, to the person that randomly shouted yeah really loud in my ear when I was going to get snacks, I hope every woman in your family loses the backs to their earrings. I hope they lose a shoelace. I hope you and all your friends' wrestling t-shirts gets bleached. And I hope you stump your pinky toe on the sofa. Not your big toe, but your pinky toe, the most painful toe. I hope you stump that toe repeatedly forever.
You little bastard.
Next up, we had Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey in a MMA rules match where the only way to win is by submission, referee stoppage, or TKO, I believe. And here's the part where I have to be completely and brutally honest with you. For starters, when the promo package aired, I saw a exodus of fans in attendance go to the concession stand. And I'm here to tell you guys to disrespectfully fuck off. And the reason why I say that is because you don't have to like Ronda Rousey. I don't like Ronda Rousey. 2018 until 2019, Ronda Rousey was way better than current Ronda Rousey. So for you to get up and just walk out during the promo package and then the entire match, Shayna Baszler, because I'm a big fan of Shayna Baszler, didn't deserve that. Nevertheless, despite those people, I'm gonna be completely honest with you when it comes to this match. This match didn't do it for me. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was basically too slow, too methodical. It wasn't my cup of tea. I was looking for some shenanigans or something, like some tomfoolery, but that's just my personal taste in wrestling. This match wasn't really, it didn't hit for me. Highlight reel, my boy who was with me can attest to this. It was eerily quiet in that arena. Like it was just silence during the entire, and it wasn't the type of silence where it was like people were paying attention. It was literally dead silent throughout points of the match, to the point where the trolls started taking over the chants. We got a "this is boring" chant. We randomly got a "let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant for some reason. And I believe it was I heard a faint "fuck you Ronda, let's move on" chant. Like they was literally just trolling this entire match from a distance because it was in the stadium. So I don't know if it picked up on TV or not because I haven't watched the live feed back yet. But yeah, it was not my cup of tea. But in the end, Shayna Baszler won via technical submission where Ronda passed out. She no-sold the finish, like she was leaning up against the apron. I'm expecting her to be like sleep on the floor. She just leaned up against it. All right, let's move on. Speaking of moving on, Gunther defended his Intercontinental Championship against Drew McIntyre. And in the words of Big E,
you want your 5-star matches? You want your 30-minute classics? Not me. Big meaty man slapping me. That's what I want.
This was a fun match. Next to Cody and Brock, Logan and Ricochet, this match right here was up there for me as far as my investment. I enjoyed this match a lot more than I probably should have because Gunther has been one of my favorite acts in WWE to this day, him and Imperium. And Drew McIntyre, I know some people feel like he is either stale as a babyface or whatever. He can hold his own when the call comes to it. Like when they say go out there and have a banger, he goes out there and have a banger. And that match right there was 13 minutes plus of pure violence. It wasn't up there like Sheamus versus Gunther last year at Clash at the Castle, but it was up there as one of the best matches I've seen from Gunther. It's not the top 10, but it was up there as one of the best I've seen because Gunther's reign as champion has been some of my must-see television moments, if I'm being honest with you. But in the end, Gunther retained the title after completely destroying Drew. I believe he stacked him up and pinned him 1, 2, 3. Gunther is still your Intercontinental Champion. Honky tonk, man, count your days. Gunther is coming for that record, and he needs to to shatter it. What's next with Drew McIntyre? I don't know. I am in the boat of probably him turning heel and maybe being the next challenger for Seth Rollins, because we'll get to Seth Rollins in a little second. But Drew McIntyre returned at Money in the Bank just to lose at SummerSlam. That should be a catalyst, in my opinion, if I'm booking the shows, for him to be done with it and just flip the switch and just go full Scottish Terminator, Scottish psychopath on everybody. And speaking of Seth Rollins defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor in a rematch 7 years in the making from their SummerSlam 2016 match. And this match was pretty good. Like, if I had to rank them between the Money in the Bank match and SummerSlam match, I will give this a slight edge over their Money in the Bank match, because you could tell they was holding off. Seth Rollins came out in his 2016 jacket that he wore when he injured Finn Balor at SummerSlam 2016. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Seth Rollins' mind games, or his continued mind games with his opponents, is one of my favorite parts and one of my favorite bits that he does during his entrances. He did the Shield thing at Royal Rumble in 2022. And now he's playing mind games with Finn Balor wearing the same, or a part of the same gear that he injured him with. And then Seth, for some reason, forgot that Finn likes to catch you lacking. And he got caught lacking again to start off the match when Finn attacked him from behind. And Seth and Finn pretty much started off the way I would start off any wrestling match that is a grudge match. No elbow and collar tie up, no headlock takeover, just pure violence and slugging it out. The opening part after the slug off, pretty much it kind of dragged a little bit for me in the arena, but it wasn't something that would just make me like, oh, this match sucked or whatever. It was fine for what it was. It was a little bit better than their Money in the Bank match, but it wasn't better than their 2016 match. I don't know how to explain it. But I can tell you what my favorite part of the match was the breakdown that came at the end. Damian Priest came out to tease cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase to distract Seth, and it backfired on him and Finn. And then we saw Rhea Ripley, Women's World Champion, by the way, and Dirty Dom Dominic Mysterio. I understand this ending the way that it happened, but it wasn't needed, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Finn Balor getting a world title match or a world title reign at this point is not happening anytime soon. So if you are a fan of Finn Balor, sorry to burst your bubble, but that was a wrap, because the ending came where Damian tried to get involved, but it backfired, and Finn got hit with the stomp. Dominic got hit with the stomp on the outside as well. Damian got taken care of, and Seth Rollins pinned Finn Balor once again to retain the world title. Wasn't really a fan of Finn losing that way, but what can you do? I'm not booking the show. They are pretty much teasing a Judgment Day Civil War, Damian and Finn. I don't think they showed it on the camera, but when it fades to black, Damian, Finn, and Rhea and Dom were shouting at each other, basically continuing the story. I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably show some footage on down the line, because I believe they were yelling at each other as they were heading to the back. But Seth Rollins is still the World Heavyweight Champion, and Damian Priest is still Mr. Money in the Bank. Next up, we had a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Bianca Belair versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. Bianca came out last. I know a lot of people aren't really a fan of the champion not entering last, but when I saw that it was a C4 sponsored match, I understood, because I believe Bianca is one of the faces or the spokespeople or something of C4, which I have a story about, which I'll probably tell on the vlog that will be dropping sometime within the next couple of days to a week. But Bianca coming out as the final entrant made sense from a sponsor point of view. The match itself was 20 minutes, and I was into it the entire time until the point where I started getting cold, because they blasted the air condition in the arena, and I started getting cold, and my eyes were literally starting to close. But I wasn't sleepy, but it's like that was that comfort, because I don't know a lot of people who don't sleep in the cold. That's what it felt like. But the match itself was fine. It did drag a little bit. There was a point where it was like, okay, where are we going with this? But the match itself was fine for what it was. If I personally, as far as if I had to time it, I would probably trim maybe 3 minutes from it, because it was like a 3-minute like dead point. But then there was a point where Bianca looked injured, and they had people come out and check on her, and when I tell you, I was like, oh no. I thought she was legitimately injured, and they started to carry her to the back while she started to walk away. But then she came out at the last moment, but she was like, nah, get off me. And she got involved, and she broke the figure 8 from Charlotte with the 450 splash. Thing of beauty. Bianca is so great. And then I was like, oh no, the injury. Charlotte's about to hit the figure 8 and is about to win her quote-unquote 15th world title. If you include NXT, she's technically would have been a 17-time world champion, but she's going to win her 15th world title here. And then Asuka hit her with the mist and looked to take care of Bianca, but Bianca legitimately just rolled her up, picked up the win to win the women's championship. Before we get on to the part where I legitimately lost my voice, I have to give my thoughts on this particular match. I wasn't really a fan of Asuka getting pinned here. I don't know what it is. I feel like every time Bianca and Charlotte Flair is involved, I could be wrong. It could be just me being me, overthinking. But I always feel like she doesn't feel like the prominent figure in her matches or her story. That could be me. You can let me know in the comments if you feel any indifferent. That's just how I feel about it. For her to take the pin, I'm like, well, damn. That finish woke up the entire arena. We were all like, whoa, what? And then I just immediately turned to cheer because it's Bianca. Love Bianca. So I'm just like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. She win. And then
Holding that title means you are the best wrestler in the world.
Iyo Sky's music played. And when that happened, I tell you, I lost my ever-loving mind. When the vlog drops, you will see my genuine reaction. We captured a lot of footage, and this was my moment. Because for those of you who are a fan of the channel, who's been watching my content, know I have always been pulling for Iyo Sky to be women's champion on the main roster. If you look at the what if Iyo cashes in on Rhea Ripley, she didn't win in that video, but I said if she were to cash in on the women's title, she has to win because that is my girl, and she won. She won the match. Unfortunately, it was at Bianca Belair's expense. It was an 8-second match. It was a cash in, but it happened, and we lost our mind. I lost my voice. My voice is still a little raspy. That's why I don't sound like I normally do on these videos, because my voice is hanging on for dear life. And this is a moment that I enjoyed. Dakota Kai, who was still injured, came out there to celebrate with her. I loved every second of it. And then we had the main event, the talking point of the entire Twitter, X, whatever they call it, universe. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in tribal combat for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship in recognition of tribal chief of the Anoa'i family. This is when I really lost my voice, because when Jey Uso's music played, down since day one, we literally was just quoting word for word, bar for bar, getting hyped, just geeked out of our minds, just bopping and weaving. Literally everybody next to us in our section was just like, yo, these fools are going crazy. Like, we was losing our mind. And then when Jey Uso had everybody in the entire stadium dancing and lifting their hands and bouncing it, man, Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso is a superstar. And then of course the tribal chief Roman Reigns made his entrance, and everybody acknowledged the tribal chief. You literally looked at everybody in our section. Everybody had the ones in the sky when the tribal chief made his way out there. And then after the whole aesthetics and rendezvous of the ring introductions, and shout out Mike Rome. I know we give Samantha Irving her flowers all the time on social media, but that man right there was in his bag when he was introducing this main event. He had no other option than to bring his A game, and I believe he did. But after all that, the match officially began, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This was not my favorite match of their trilogy. I enjoyed the first match and the second match way more than I enjoyed this match. It was a little slow in my opinion. It was too methodical, like similar to the MMA fight. I don't know how to explain it without coming off as I hate the match, because I did not hate the match, but it felt a little slow. It was not really up to par or up to my expectations. Like, and the whole tribal combat thing, this was literally just a tagline for a no disqualification match. Like, it didn't feel tribal to me. I don't know how I was supposed to assume a tribal combat. We didn't see no elders outside of the promo package. It was a great promo package, by the way. We didn't see nothing. It wasn't like no whole get up, no extravaganza. It was literally just a standard match with a tagline to it. Like, it was points where this match should have been right out of the gate dropping blows. Like, Jey should have came out of the gate swinging, in my opinion. Like, he should not have gone for an elbow and call a tie up. Like, this dude legitimately took out your brother. He tried to injure you just had a bloodline civil war. You shouldn't be doing like basic wrestling moves. It should be fight. To me, when I see combat, you're in a competition. You're in a fight. You're not wrestling. You're fighting. That's just me. Obviously, Solo Sikoa got involved at some point, and I was like, oh my God, here we go. And then the match finally picked up when Solo and everybody and Jey fought back, and Solo was whooping Jey's ass and all that stuff. It finally picked up, and then they went for the thumb spear combo or the spike spear combo. Roman accidentally speared Solo Sikoa, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Because I bit on a lot of those false finishes. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'm like, okay, here we go. About to see Jey come back, and Jey hitting both brothers with the steel chair, the cousin and the brother with the steel chair. Finally hit Roman with a spear after Roman accidentally speared Solo, and then he head to the top, going for the Uso splash, and he connects. 1, 2, nope. Someone pulled Jey out of the ring at the very last second. Brother turned around, took off the hood, slowly removed the bandana on his face, and it was revealed to be none other than Jimmy Uso. The brother that Jey Uso was fighting for was the one who betrayed him. And he hit him with a super kick, sent them into the ring. Roman looking confused at what happened. I'm confused. My entire section, like they literally got a fuck you Jimmy chant. 1, 2, 3 after the spear through the table, and still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion and Tribal Chief of the Anoa'i family, Roman Reigns. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my initial reaction, I'm just gonna give you the reactions of my entire section, the 3 people who were with me. Me and my bro Highlight, we were literally like, well, he did it again. And my little sis MJ was like, that made no goddamn sense. And on the way back to the hotel, we were sitting there looking like, damn, we fell for that. Like, and what I mean by we fell for that, it's like, we knew that there were gonna be shenanigans afoot, and we still had hope. We had all the genuine emotions like that you would expect out of it. And then we started breaking down the story. It was like, on one hand, it makes sense that Jimmy did this, and on the other hand, it doesn't. It makes sense if they go with the jealousy story of Jimmy and Jey. Like Roman said, you ask for a title match after your brother gets taken out. So basically, Jimmy got gaslit into attacking his brother by their cousin once again. Now, it doesn't make sense because Jimmy started all of this. He legitimately started all of this at Night of Champions. So it kind of, it's all about the follow-up with me as far as how I perceive this, because I know people are writing it off as trash. I can honestly and genuinely tell you that we are now officially in the post-Endgames, the post-Avengers Endgames era of the Bloodline. We got Jimmy versus Jey. We got Roman Reigns going on vacation. We got Solo Sikoa just pissed at Roman, who won't be there. So that's the downside about a part-time situation. It's a lot to digest, but I'm gonna be honest with you, like I said, the tribal combat was not my favorite of the trilogy between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. It wasn't really a fitting ending to the trilogy, in my opinion. But I can tell you the only consistency of these matches is that Jimmy Uso will continue to screw his brother, and hopefully they make this make sense on SmackDown. If they make it make sense, don't drag it out. Don't be like, well, why isn't he talking? I'm gonna say it on my own time. Let Jimmy come out and explain his actions, and literally let him go the route of jealousy and not realign with Roman Reigns. Because if he realigns with Roman Reigns, the story is going backwards and it's getting convoluted, and it will not end well from as far as my interest in this feud going forward. He has to have smoke with both ends of the spectrum. He has to be a solo act. And as much as I despise the fact that they broke up one of my favorite tag teams in wrestling, I am interested in seeing where they go with Jimmy Uso on his own, Jey Uso on his own. Will Jey Uso remain main event Jey Uso, or will he fall down the pecking order? Will Jimmy Uso fall down the pecking order? I'm interested in that. It's all in the booking from the WWE standpoint, behind the scenes, as well as in ring. Like, will they drop the ball that is given to them? The only thing you can do is sit back and watch and enjoy, because I already know everybody who's bitching about it on X or Twitter, whatever they call it, is going to watch the show. They're going to watch the product. They're gonna watch to see the fallout like everybody else. They just talking just to talk. Did Jimmy Uso turning on Jey Uso scream Russo booking? For those of you who know, if you know, you know. Yeah, it did. But I'm not gonna sit here and lose sleep over it. I gave my thoughts on it. And that's all I have to say on the Tribal Combat. Wasn't my favorite out of the three between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, but it is what it is. It was 36 minutes, over 36 minutes for this match. This was a long show. We didn't leave until like 12:15, nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. There was supposed to be an after party we were going to go to, but we was too tired and we had an early flight. We said, nah, we're good. We're going to sleep. But let me know what you guys think about SummerSlam 2023. Did you guys enjoy it? Do you give it a thumbs up, thumbs down? Do you want to call it mid? Right when I got back, I ran a poll over on the community tab asking you, how would you grade SummerSlam 2023, with 69% nice of you voting B, with most of you voting A, some saying mid, and some saying complete F. Some people said mid AF and some people said S, which probably means shove it. But truth be told, I had a lot of fun being there in person at SummerSlam, kicking it with people who I call friend now. And some of them I can even call family because they are genuine people that I've met. Some people I've met for the very first time there. Some people I've seen again from last year's SummerSlam and the year before that. So it was a fun experience, a fun time in Detroit. Shout out to everybody who I've officially met or who I made friends with, and we got some stories to tell, which will probably drop in the vlog video that will be more edited and more organized and more structured when I get a script together. But this video has gone on long enough. It is not what you're accustomed to on this channel if you are a familiar around here. But if you're new around here and would like to see more videos like this, make sure you smash that subscribe button with the notification bells turned on so you won't miss an update while you're following me on social media at JoshGreshamORG. I'll catch you in the next video, and y'all be breezy.